Hello, my name is Gerald and I appreciate you showing up today. In these videos, I will always speak directly to you and never ask anything of you. Alright, as you probably know, there's an extreme amount of controversy when it comes to Bitcoin. Everyone seems to either hate it or love it. In an age where everyone is taking extreme positions on every controversial topic, I refuse to do so when it comes to Bitcoin. Alright, first let's look at a brief explanation of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's a digital currency that is exchanged by use of a decentralized ledger that keeps track of all transactions. It's pretty much a network of computers that are verifying the transactions to ensure that every transaction is legitimate. This makes Bitcoin extremely secure. So it's the security that makes this such a great technology. And if you look at those who invested very early, they just made insane gains. So the technology we're really looking at is the decentralized digital ledger. Just that network of computers with no centralized agency ensuring that the transactions are legitimate. It's just this network of computers that checks to make sure they're legitimate and then places them on the ledger. So it definitely has the potential to revolutionize our world and how we transfer money. For example, if you wanted to transfer money from the US to Mexico, it'd be much faster and much cheaper to do it using Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. Right now, Bitcoin's relatively expensive to transfer, but as the technology gets better and as they build it out more, it'll get cheaper and cheaper, it'll get faster and faster. So we do have to look at the downsides. I mean, that's the most important thing, right? If you're going to invest in something, what are the downsides of it? The first one is that it's extremely volatile. This is probably the most important one. I'm not sure what the actual value of Bitcoin is even. Like it could be, so you have these groups, these pump and dump groups that just put a bunch of money into Bitcoin. They buy loads of Bitcoin with millions and millions of dollars, driving the price up, and then they all sell at once and they drop it back down. And so that's the fear of an investment like this, is that it's unregulated. So you don't know what people are doing. There's no government entity that's going to stop them, at least right now. But, and that brings us to the next question. What type of regulation will we see in the future? So we know right now that the US government and many other governments and our banking system, they don't like Bitcoin. Partially because it's difficult to track. I mean, they've gotten a lot better at tracking it, but still it's a very difficult thing to track these transactions. And so that brings up the fear of, drug dealers and such using this currency to transfer wealth. We've also seen some governments ban cryptocurrency, including China. They're kind of letting up on that regulation a little bit now, and they're making their own cryptocurrency, but that's a topic for another day. But so that's another fear, is that the US government could potentially just ban it all altogether. So you can't hold it, you can't trade it within our country. I don't see that happening, but it's a possibility if they decide that it's a big enough risk to do so. It's much more likely that they'll just regulate it they'll just regulate it rather than banning it. And so that's not too big of a fear for me. All right, so what it comes down to is this a good investment? So Bitcoin has a very uncertain future, as I just mentioned, and that makes it an extremely risky investment. I would suggest, and again, this isn't financial advice, this is merely my beliefs, probably don't invest in Bitcoin. If you're going to, maybe put 5% or 1% or 2% of your portfolio into Bitcoin just to see what happens. But don't overextend yourself. Don't go all in. That's just a fool's errand. Don't do it. All right, so as Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, there are a whole lot of other cryptocurrencies. Stay away from those. They're pretty much penny stocks. You know, they go under from time to time. There are loads of them that have gone under. And so just don't invest in them. But you also have to remember that Bitcoin may not be the cryptocurrency that achieves global adoption. It could be another one. If they're able to advance the technology faster than Bitcoin is, then we may end up with a globally adopted cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin. Excuse me. So all in all, Bitcoin utilizes amazing new technology in the form of the blockchain. And so that's really its value. That's why it's worth something today. The technology will certainly revolutionize the banking industry and redefine how money is transferred, especially across borders from one country to another. We don't know how long this will take, as the technology is still quite new and still needs to be built out and worked on, I guess. What it comes down to is that Bitcoin is amazingly cool, but potentially just a horrible investment. Nothing in this video is financial advice, but if you have a decent sized portfolio, consider putting a small amount into Bitcoin just to see what happens, because you could see just absolutely amazing returns. So that's my opinion. I hold a little bit of Bitcoin, not gonna lie. But my opinion is that it's amazing technology, but a very risky investment. All right, if you guys believe that Bitcoin is the future and that it's going to be the cryptocurrency that champions over all others and ends up being globally adopted, click that like button. If you disagree and that you think Bitcoin is just absolute garbage, or that cryptocurrency is absolute garbage, or that a different cryptocurrency is going to be the one that achieves global adoption far before Bitcoin does, if Bitcoin ever does, click that dislike button. All right, see you guys in the next video.